all the variations of this randomizer than I'm not entirely sure sometimes which ones are exactly trolls. Oh, never mind. We are now off, and the first thing we see is a big 20, aka a GamerCal chest. Shoutouts to GamerCal.
Yeah, both our runners deciding to start at Link's house. It looks like sonicam is trying for that tier 3 tree pull here, while acmlm is immediately heading over to the south of Kakariko.
Both of them, of course, having very legitimate strategies, because, as we know, the bombs in the arrow bushes do have a 50% chance of spawning within 4 of those bushes. And, as we know, the tree pull for getting magic in the event that escape sequence has a crucial magic item that you could use, especially for early bosses, is absolutely vital, and a very nice lead. Oh my goodness, that might have been the right thing to pull off. Right off the bat, we have the power glove.
Uncle handing off his power glove. It's so bad.
It's so bad the uncle got dunked in the middle of an alleyway.
Yep, nobody wants a power glove. They stole everything else, but they left him with the power glove. And we see acmlm, he is fine with just having that one bomb. He's going to check the back of the tavern and then probably go for the bushes near the bombable hut to... Oh, well, he just picks up more from the chest then. Fine.
You gotta love when a gamble pays off. Meanwhile, sonicam going and taking the typical route we've seen in the previous normal mode tournament, where everyone goes and checks a certain area, then immediately heads up over to see what's in the lumberjack cave, and then heads over to the forest.
We just see acm picking up the bow and the chicken hut here, so trolley bow not confirmed.
That is true, and that is a very nice early bow. You never have a bad time. I'm not gonna say that. I was gonna say you never have a bad time with an early bow, but let's be real, that's definitely not true.
You know, if V26 has taught me anything and commentating these races, if those things have taught me anything, it's that a lot of good early items really scare me.
Yeah, that and always expect the Moon Pearl really early.
Yes, absolutely.
Coming into practice, you always go, crap, is this going to be an AGA 1 seed? And most of the times, it's just scaring it into thinking it. It's making it take the bait. Other times you get an hour in and it's actually a required AGA 1 seed.
Yeah, we'll have to see what these guys can come up with. I mean, save for the power glove, they, so far at least, have nothing that will give them Dark World access, but, well, speaking of the Moon Pearl...
Speaking of... That was a good find in the Lost Woods. Meanwhile, we have some pieces of heart, some money, the blue mail over in the Thieves' Den.
That's a banana hat.
Banana hat for life. Eggplant hat also acceptable.
Yeah, it's also okay. So, even though right now I would say sonicam is making all the right decisions, it probably won't take ACM very long to check all the spots that sonicam has. He's currently on his way up to grab his Moon Pearl, and he'll probably check Uncle sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Realistically, both of them going very smart decisions in their routing, and both sides having something very valuable that once they're checked, it's going to just come back. So despite the divergence, we are seeing very similar parallel routes.
Yep, they basically just decided to do the reverse of each other. At least so far.
Map check. Blue Pendant in Tower of Hera, crystals 3 and 4 in Eastern and Desert Palace respectively. Now we gotta wonder what the next 2 dungeons are going to be that have a pendant. Are we going to see Pendant Thieves Town? Are we gonna see Pendant Turtle Rock? Are we going to get green Pendant Ice Palace? Which has been a lot more common that I've seen in these races than not, apparently.
Yeah, usually I'd say people are probably hoping for a Pendant Mire and T-Rock just so you don't have to go into them, but
absolutely.
With how much items have been hidden in Pendant dungeons lately, I think it really doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, no, at this point, it's kind of a gamble no matter what. Even if you skip a Pendant dungeon, you might be skipping massive progression. And over in Sarashala's, we have a big 20. That's gotta be Kane! I'm not Phantom Ryu. I'm sorry.
Early red cane. Now is that a good thing or a bad thing?
This is starting to look like the starts of a late first sword seed. They've already given you a cane. They've given you the bow. You have early access to Eastern Palace, and the only item you technically need to progress, well, actually, logically also, you would technically need the lamp, but many of these runners are very accustomed to also doing not only Eastern, but most of these, if not all of these palaces in the dark.
Yeah, I don't think any of our runners here have any problems with any dark rooms that might be coming up. I see him dipping into the Eastern Palace here. It is a crystal, as we saw earlier, and as you just said, he will probably full clear and finish it up. Assuming he'll find some arrows. I mean, I know there's some arrows under pots here, but just the bow alone will not kill Armos.
Although that would be impressive if you could swing it around.
I'd like that. Maybe use the string as some sort of piano wire or something?
Yeah. Just whack at it like a staff.
Or that.
Someone needs to make that a plantomizer.
Maybe use it as a boomerang. That could work. It's kind of shaped like one, right?
Ooh, not a bad call. Also, not much of value showing up in the first chests the first two chests, rather, in Eastern Palace. In the meantime, we're going to see ACM manipulate the RNG and the Stalfos for him to only get 2 Stalfos, and then immediately bounce out, saving plenty of time.
Yeah, and for anyone who isn't aware how that room works, it usually spawns 4 Stalfos, but if you walk in the same way ACM just did, or in a similar way, it will try to spawn 2 of those 4 Stalfos in the walls, which is why they never spawn in the first place, and you only gotta kill 2.
It's a beautiful thing when you find that out in a randomizer.
Mm-hmm. Now sonicam just picked up his Cane of Samaria and is going to be heading right into Eastern himself.
A wise decision on this route already. Oh, an interesting application of the Cane of Samaria to avoid getting hit by those. I don't even know what they're called. I just knew them as those stone then turn into random goldish brownish dudes.
Yeah, I'm sure they have a name, but I certainly don't know it.
And a big key after a solid anti-fairy ring skip. Picking up
very nice.
Parts that were lost.
So I know ACM picked up a red rupee in the second chest that he checked, I believe. Oh, maybe it was the first.
Oh. ACM must have been counting, because I am not seeing any signs of him going and opening one of those chests. Or opening the big chest, sorry.
Yeah, it looks like he must have been counting. I certainly wasn't, so...
Oh. Very solid use of the bow, despite using up most of the arrows. Using the extra pots to pick up some replenishment on the way over, and then swoosing behind the Igor to just hit the button.
Yeah, if you already know which button to hit, these Igors really don't pose any danger whatsoever.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, that red Igor just woke up to a very bad day.
Yeah, ACM gonna have to spend some more of his arrows here. Needs to make sure he has enough to kill the Armos Knights. Oh, well, wonderful. Gets a 10 arrow drop. No problem there anymore.
So shoutouts to Bombs dropping 10 arrows on each kill. And once again, gets another 10 stack.
Yeah, with 45 arrows, he should be having no problems defeating this boss.
And right off the bat, setting up a quick kill, just as if it were an everyday activity, like brushing your teeth. And within 10 minutes and 15 seconds, first crystal. That is the kind of high-octave things you want to see in a speedrunning race.
Absolutely beautiful. If you want to learn how to rando, watch ACM. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah. As someone who came from that perspective recently, I gotta say, watching ACM and Christos Owen, and admittedly, if I actually watched Andy, I probably also learned plenty as well. But watching any of these runners, or even watching the tournament on YouTube, shoutouts to our YouTube audience, you can really pick up how to run this game.
Alright, and ACM making his way to the south side of Hyrule here, checking the dam, and then probably gonna go over to Mini Moldome Cave.
Ooh, getting a big 20.
And I feel like we've seen a lot of those already.
Yeah, we have. That has to be, what, our 9th, 10th, at least?
Yeah, something like that. I think there's a total of, I can never remember, I want to say 28 of them in there.
I always thought it was 25, but that might be me just missing. Oh, what are those? The boots have been found.
Alright, some soggy boots. We won't say no to those.
Yeah, no, by all means. Having boots this early is going to make the rest of this run go from a piece of cake to, well, even if it did go bad, at least you're going to get around places quick.
And it looks like chat is confirming that there are indeed 28 of those red rupees in the game.
Ah, gotcha. Wow. What is all with these big 20s? Oh, half magic though. Not a bad consolation. Not a bad consolation.
Half magic this early on is a very nice find.
Oh, absolutely.
And ACM decides to go for the Ice Rod Cave. Check, a lot of runners decide to forego this until at least until they have the flute and can get here a little quicker.
Unfortunately, sonicam not pulling off the quick kill in time before having to throw 3 more arrows into a red Armos. But nonetheless, taking care of it with very quick work.
Yeah, thankfully that red Knight skip isn't too much of a time loss, but considering who he's playing against, really every second counts, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, sonicam must have the pressure just running through him like energy.
And now we're gonna see ACM maybe checking the bonk rocks here. Yeah, looks like it. It's poking the butt a little bit by the green guard, but nothing too major.
And within there, we get a piece of heart, but you get a heart refill out of getting the next heart piece full. So, not a bad quid pro quo. Especially early on, having plenty of hearts early on at least guarantees that you're not going to find as many later. I say that now.
You never know. You never know. Alright, I think we've seen a Lumberjack Cave check from sonicam.
Wait a second. Did we miss Silver Air? Oh, wait a second. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm a little confused. Were they in the back of Escape? I'm guessing that's where he jumped down to and now is in the dark sewers.
Yep, silver arrows must have been in the back of sewers. Not in the Escape the 3 chest in the back of Escape, but specifically in that 1 chest in the back near the sewer entrance. Interesting.
I think he's just making his way to that one chest right now.
Oh, actually, you're right. He was just in the back of his cave. Never mind. It just totally vanished from my mind that that's where he was.
And ACM picking up his Power Glove finally, so both of our runners just one more item away from Dark World access.
Frankly, I'm so not used to seeing someone use Canis and Mire for location strats that I'm actually both impressed and a little embarrassed that I hadn't thought of it before.
Alright, it looks like sonicam did pick up something, but I didn't quite catch what it was.
Neither did I, unfortunately.
Some of the items don't show up in the dark. It could have been just an upgrade, it could have been an important item, but I think he would have probably opened his inventory by now if he thought he picked up an important item.
Yep. Nonetheless, having silver arrows this early just makes every other boss that can take damage from arrows just easy mode for the rest of this seed.
Yeah, definitely a very nice find with that super early bow and now early silvers. That's a really good weapon.
All this considered, I'm now wondering what is going to be the troll item of V26 for these two runners, because this is... Oh, it's not the hammer! We got that for certain.
Well, and that is Dark World access for ACM. And sonicam right on his heels here. Gonna grab his Dark World access in just a second. Giving that ball in chain guard, the Watt 4 with the hammer, and another red rupee, Jesus.
The amount of big 20s, we have to be hitting big 400 sometime soon.
Yeah, they're definitely making their way up to the Zora money without even picking anything other than a lot of big 20s. Alright, now ACM is on his way to pick up his silvers, and we've got item parity in a second year. There they are. He's probably also gonna check the... No, apparently not. Thought he was gonna check the Dark Sewers chest, but decides not to.
Sometimes those gambles are easy to take, especially when you find another item like that. Perhaps they're more trying to make the count. I actually don't recall seeing the map in the escape sequence yet. We may have seen ACM take that into account.
Possibly.
Oh, Dark World check. Palace of Darkness and Ice Palace are pendants. Number 5 and number 6 are Turtle Rock and Swamp, respectively.
Yep, so we will definitely need both rods. We will need a mirror.
We will need flippers.
We will need flippers.
Hookshot. In fact, the only thing we don't directly need, as we know of so far, is bombos. And we got a bloomerang. Looks like we can beat the game now.
And look at the beautiful sync here going on.
Reading Rainbow. Oh, you can't get any more synchronized if you paid to see them synchronize. Choreography teams all around the internet are now just wrestling their teeth in jealousy.
Yep, and immediately as we say it, the sync is broken.
Oh, of course. But you know, as all good things, it must come to an end sometime.
Indeed. Alright, ACM is gonna pay Stumpy a little visit and go over to the digging game, I'm assuming. Since he's still like in the Titansmiths, he can't enter the Village of Outcasts from the south.
Yep, that is correct. However, at least with the hammer, they can also get up to Palace of Darkness if they so chose to dive immediately into that dungeon. They could also go and check Pyramid and Catfish.
Yep, there's quite a few things open to them, and as we saw earlier, these guys have no issues with dark rooms whatsoever, so Pod might not be the worst choice.
Certainly not. And fortunately, with the dark rooms in pod, most of the time, those mazes are relatively easy to tackle, especially since you just have to remember the shape of the guidelines. Ooh, getting a big 300 out of the race game, and deciding to save and quit, saying that's enough for now, it's time to go over to a giant fish.
Yeah, with the Moon Pearl in hand, I wouldn't be surprised to see the fake flippers from ACM soon.
Although, to be fair, if that were the case, I don't know why he would start off from Sanctuary, and it seems like I was wrong. It looks like, yep, back to the Dark World and going directly to Kakariko.
Yeah, looks like he wants to check out that Village of Outcasts and maybe dip into Thieves Town before going for the Zora.
Not a bad call. Light World and Dark World do offer a bunch of free chests right off the bat, and Thieves Town is a crystal. So that is just easy crystal access.
With the hammer in hand, they don't even have to leave anything behind. The big chest is open to them too, should it hold an item. And now Sonicam is about to pick up his soggy boots.
Having those boots, albeit a bit later, is going to be one heck of a relief, because even though ACM found them earlier, this does mean Sonicam will actually have a chance to make up for any ground lost in the event ACM manages to have a unlikely but still possible slip-up.
Ooh, ACM almost falling down the hole there, saving himself with a map check.
Yeah, right? Getting 2 keys right off the bat. Having that third key guaranteed in that one area because it is now officially coded into the logic. Bypassing it is the smarter routing option, and a compass has been found. How exciting, a compass.
Yeah, so far, not really paying off. I mean, everyone knows the Skullwoods meme in V26, but...
realistically, at this point, I would have at least considered Thieves Town first, but there's a reason ACM is in a much higher bracket of tournament winning than I am.
Yeah, I mean, I like this play, especially with the Cane of Samaria in hand already. There's, at least this chest is easy to check. He can't get into the back, obviously, so after this, he's kind of stuck. Oh, man.
Except the plot thickens, and suddenly, the big key has been found. It is entirely possible that there is going to be an item in there, and to be fair in his defense, if there is indeed an item in there, one, that's going to be huge intel to have instead of anyone that is waiting to do Skullwood say later when they find the fire rod, and two, it's going to make me look really silly.
Going with the bomb.
Oh, it's the first sword.
All right, 23 minutes in, the first sword.
All right, well, at least it wasn't 30 minutes like I said earlier. I now feel relaxed.
Now, the big question is, when will Sonicam decide to check that?
That is a good question. Realistically, it all depends on the next sword upgrade that Sonicam discovers, be it the one in Swamp Palace or one beforehand. Oh, wow, the Flute, Doot is up on the Bumper Cave.
Yeah, and the Flute is absolutely required since Misery Mire is a crystal, so they will have to dig up that cave somewhere. The cape, rather.
We're gonna get our magical Crimson Dreamcoat sometime soon. But in the meantime, ACM's going to check the rest of Thieves Town, Village of Outcasts, while Sonicam is making the play up to, oh no! Getting hit by the Zora during fake flippers, resulting in a death. Fortunately, that being the better option for routing than having to worry about soft locks.
Yeah, still a very unfortunate death to take there. I mean, it's not too far away, but as we see, decides not to take that trip back, I'm thinking.
It's looking like we are having the return of, the fake flipper. It's the lesser-known Return of the Jedi clone.
Alright, looks like sonicam is dedicated to trying this again. He might find something good. We saw ACM skipped out on the fake flippers earlier, despite having the money for Zora and the Moon Pearl for the water walking glitch.
Yep. And, ooh, with the quickness, sonicam, make sure to not go and deal with that accidental Zora attack. And, oh, second sword upgrade over in Thieves Town.
Alright, so...
$21 over in the waterfall.
With that, I'm thinking sonicam is definitely gonna run into a sword sooner rather than later, even if he doesn't check Thieves Town.
Yeah, so either way, we're at least still going to see one sword. Oh, the shovel is up on the ledge. We may have the ultimate fetch quest coming up.
Oh man, we already saw Flute hiding behind a cape, and now we see the shovel hiding behind flippers. Oh,
How many big 20s are we gonna see today? Sorry to cut you off, but Zora just dropped a big 20 right in front of sonicam's face to give him a very, very harsh life lesson in capitalism.
Yeah, at this point, I think we've seen almost all of them, right? There can't be too many left.
Yeah, that's so many of them already.
We shall see. I'm sure they'll not disappoint and show up some more.
Oh, I don't doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised if Validation Chest is one of the last big 20s. Meanwhile, as ACM goes in, not only escapes Hell Hallway without getting any damage taken, sonicam is returning to the Dark World. A burrito has been found, and lizards have been stomped.
Yep, no chance for those crickets.
It looks like with the literacy, we are going to get a pedestal check. I hope everyone in chat that wants to see a pedestal seed is pretty hype right now because, well, the more you're hype and the more it doesn't happen, the more it's going to be entertaining to see your dreams crushed. Hashtag no shame. Oh, bomb storage.
The pedestal dream is dead.
Ah, I can already see ahead of time all of the hype, and oh, there it is, the reactions. There's nothing better than a good afternoon to late evening spite. In the meantime, ACM going and picking up blind and heading over to the big chest after finding the compass, knowing that at this point there is literally nothing else that he's going to find for a big, oh, it's the flippers. I'm gonna just stop stuttering and just be excited about that.
Oh, the flip-flops. Alright, so looks like ACM's choice to not fake flipper up to Zora was actually a good one.
Yep.
I want a quick shout out here to Irish Ouija. Thank you very much for the sub. And ACM starts his blind fight. I'm expecting a super perfect script fight here from ACM.
Yep. Totally. You know, I was also going to say totally get your vac ready, but let's be real. Anyone that doesn't know ACM would get suspicious of that, but anyone that knows and has seen ACM already knows that he could probably do that with his eyes closed and with the audio off.
Yeah, that was absolutely amazing. That's exactly how you want every blind fight to go.
No, that was clean. Even with taking that one ticket damage, that was super clean. And yes, to the one question in chat, that does mean I'm saying ACM could do that run blind. Thank you for that, Pawn.
Yo. Alright, I think sonicam just picked up his big key, so he is well on his way to his first sword.
Yep, and then we are going to see, as soon as he picks that up, a next routing to the second sword. And also the flippers, which means we're going to immediately see a return to maybe, actually, now that I think of it, only maybe a return to the shovel. The shovel is technically a gamble, despite the fact that everyone does love a good fetch quest. And by love, I mean really hate when it happens, but you deal with it and take the gamble anyway.
Oh, and this chat is pointing out, sonicam did get his sword around 30 minutes, so, you know, we weren't all wrong.
Oh no. It continues. Meanwhile, Catfish getting checked, and ACM gets catfished by Catfish.
Piece of art, very disappointing. He is now gonna make his way over to the pyramid, and then probably dive into pot, I would say.
Not a bad choice, considering how many chests are available in Palace of Darkness, and he technically has all the necessary items if he so chose to go and defeat it. Perhaps not by the logic, because it would have required the lamp. However, for these runners, let's be real, lamp is a luxury at best. Oh, we're getting a pyramid check. And sonicam is going to immediately check after going to the C-shaped house, the chest game. And we got a bottle with a fairy in it. We're going to see what Sick Kid has for us today.
Very nice, her first bottle, and it has a fairy in it. That's always a nice safety item to have, though.
Absolutely. Although we all know the true safety item is a B-Torp in a bottle.
To be fair, well, I mean, I don't want to jinx him, but I'd be very surprised to see ACM use up that fairy at any point in this run.
Yeah, I can see why you would both want to say that and not want to jinx him simultaneously.
Mm-hmm.
And sonicam pulls out the Master Sword from a chest. You'd think something so legendary wouldn't be placed in such an easily found area.
Oh, I mean, clearly the thieves stole it from the pedestal, right? That's what happened.
Oh, okay, my bad.
I don't understand why they will put it in, like, the first chest in their dungeon, but, you know, thieves aren't known to be smart, necessarily.
Yeah, no one ever said thieves had to be strategists. Into the Palace of Darkness we go. Kiki delivered their service to open the door. And within the first chest, we have a key, so it looks like we're going to have a normal routing instead of having to worry about going the roundabout way, especially since Palace of Darkness without a mirror is rather slow in comparison to when you do have the mirror.
Shoutouts to my good friend Dr. Bobtastic, who has named this dungeon the Mullet Dungeon. It's all business in the front and party in the back.
I very much love that comparison.
Yeah, it's strangely apt. Oh man, did you see that little mimic dance there that ACM did? That was crazy.
I did. I also saw sonicam go to press the button and the lizard got in his way to a very obnoxious degree.
Ah, those things are so annoying.
They really are.
I think it's interesting that you call them lizards. I guess they might be.
I always thought they were lizards, and then someone said they were crickets, and I'm just like, sure.
Yeah, to me they've always been crickets, but it's really a weird thingy, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. I always thought it was just a bad rendering of a lizard.
I think my favorite part of those enemies is if you play Entrance Randomizer and you find Thieves Town in the light world, they turn into rats, including the rat sounds. And they die in one hit from the fighter sword.
That actually is fantastic. Oh my goodness, Hookshot in the vanilla big key area of Palace of Darkness. That is a solid play.
Yeah, another big find for ACM here, so good choice to dip into pod, obviously.
Meanwhile, sonicam is going to be very delighted to find that big chest has an item they're going to be interested in.
Yep, absolutely.
Ooh, narrowly escaping that red beetle. And into the crumbling hallway we go. Are we going to see the usual? Yes, we are. We are going to see the precision bomb jump of destiny.
Good old hammer yum.
Oh, all for a compass. At least they didn't have to go and waste their time on that, only to get disappointed.
Yeah, beautifully executed just to get a compass. I mean, yeah, but at least he gets to check everything out in here.
Yeah. And didn't have to spend twice the amount of time going in and out.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're seeing another beautiful blind fight here from sonicam, deciding to employ some cane strats.
Who doesn't love a good cane fight when it comes to blind?
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Oh wow, Fire Rod.
Oh, man.
Hope you all got ready to listen to some mixtapes because the Fire Rod has been found.
Looks like Pod is pretty loaded so far. Hookshot and Fire Rod, and we still got a couple chests and the boss to go.
Yep. And if I'm correct, we have not seen all 3 dungeon items, but there is a high chance that one of them is not going to be held by King Helmasaur. We may see an early gamble of diving into finally killing a Pendant boss. Whether that pays off or not, we will not know until later. And they sure picked up something.
Yeah, we heard the sound, but we didn't know what it was.
Considering there was also no sounds regarding any of the things that, came along, we can only wonder what it could have been. There was no heart jingle, no rupee jingle, no ammo upgrade jingle. Oh. The problem is, with these quick menus, it's hard to actually guess which one he got.
Yeah, kind of hard to tell right now, but I'm sure we'll find out soon.
Yep.
Oh,
and
mushroom.
With a hobo check, the hobo has the Mire.
Oh man, that's a huge find. And apparently what ACM found was the mushroom.
Hey, not bad. Looks like we're getting all the fetch quests today.
Yeah, it certainly looks like it. We already know where the shovel is. All we're missing is the powder.
Ooh, ACM making quick and clean arrow work out of that red mimic. And some really solid menuing. And it appears sonicam is going to somewhere in the depths of Dark Mountain or Death Mountain.
Yeah, it looks like he wants to unlock that save point up there, and with the mirror in hand, he has access to Tower of Hera if he so chooses. Can also check the tablet now that he has the book and the Master Sword.
Ooh, true, and he still has access to Eastern Side Light World Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm. With that hammer in hand, he can get pretty much everywhere he wants to.
And with that fire word, ACM or fire rod, ACM making decent quick work out of those turtles, which, to be fair, is not always an easy thing to handle, especially in the dark. Well, I wouldn't say not easy, but I'd definitely say a lot more annoying, considering their travel routes are only slightly predictable.
Yeah, that turtle room is probably my least favorite dark room, just because they control you so hard.
Yeah, I can see that. Oh, we got a swag net.
Yeah, that's definitely required.
Absolutely.
Though I guess sonicam disagrees.
Well, to each their own. I mean, not everyone can be as right as us, right?
Yeah, true. I mean, we're commentators for a reason, right?
Yeah, totally. Oh, the wavy coin has been found, also known as Quack.
Alright, so we got Quake and our first pendant, which is also the green one, so not a bad choice. And there's the lamp.
The lamp. Very interesting. Does doesn't normally mean that by the logic you're supposed to be able to get to that lamp location by accessing Death Mountain, and Death Mountain requires the lamp? So that means there must have been a way to get the flute up in the bumper cave.
No,
already.
I think you can get into you can get to the hookshot without a lamp, considering where it is in pod. So
Right.
the logic was expecting you to grab that hookshot out of pod, leave. Oh wait, let me think. You still have to go through that dark room.
And you still don't have the bumper cave.
Yeah.
So that means the cave has to be somewhere that was already accessible by this point.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We'll see if ACM maybe finds it in here.
Which, let's be real, it is oh, nope, it is the big key. Oh, sorry, I was looking over at sonicam as you said ACM.
Yeah, no problem, but interesting to know that Tower of Hera is absolutely lamp-locked, and you need to do the basement to get anywhere.
Yeah, very interesting.
Or at least fire source locked, I should say. It doesn't have to be the lamp necessarily.
Right. And we have the magic powder. We can check what the bat has at this point.
So that's all the fetch quests available to us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we've seen every fetch quest. We've seen the shovel, we've seen the mushroom, we've seen the powder.
Now I'm curious. Well, now that he has the powder, he doesn't have to care about it anymore. But I would have been curious if ACM decides to not turn in that mushroom anytime soon to maybe go for the fake powder glitch.
Oh, you know, that would have been an interesting thought. For those that might have missed it, Shovel is over on Zora's Ledge.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, ACM saying, I've had enough of these nerds, I'm going to make sure to take care of this dungeon while I can still manage.
Yep, not a bad choice. Going to be his second crystal. He's cleared out pretty much everything, I believe.
Yep. Oh, and speaking of important items, after Trolldorm has been fallen, we discover that the single arrow has been found.
Ah, the single arrow.
The legend has said that the single arrow is the one arrow that always defeats Ganon. Unless you don't have silvers.
Most important arrow of them all.
Ooh, getting blocked by the dead rocks.
I didn't quite catch what was on the floating island, which I assume is what sonicam checked there.
I wish I could tell you, but my memory's on randomizer, so I was going to say bombs, but I don't even remember seeing it.
It's also interesting to see that sonicam decided to not pick up the blue pendant. I mean, he already checked the pedestal and knows it's not required, but...
I mean, realistically, even though he didn't, it still saves him time, especially with the mirror.
Yeah, very true.
And let's face it, when you're going against ACM, chances are you're going to take as many chances as you can to not waste time. Couple of seemingly frustrated swipes, and we see a heart piece. Oh, I'm sorry, it was not only a heart piece, but also sank heart, and we have the Fisher-Price Mifer shield in Agina's cave. Meanwhile, we're getting some bomb and arrow upgrades. Oh, we've got the tempered sword.
Well, these guys are all equipped to fight Ganon now, I'd say.
For the most part, yeah. ACM going up to Hobo and going to grab that mirror.
Yep, gonna be very happy about that find. I'm still curious about that cape.
For a second, I thought I heard you say cake, and I was going to say, what? But no. Yeah, no, that's making me wonder, where could the cape have been at this point?
I mean, they cleared out Skull Woods as far as they could. They can't get into Ice Palace or Misery Mire yet.
They got Hammer early.
I suppose... No, they can't get to Turtle Rock because it would also require them to go through a dark room. It must be somewhere in the overworld.
Yeah, it must be. Has to be after they grab Flippers, so it means it has to be logically after Thieves Town. So one has to wonder if it's going to be perhaps at one of the Mire locations, maybe behind Graveyard Cave, or in the Mire Cave itself, or even Checkerboard.
Yeah, and we see Chad
actually, not
some
Checkerboard.
things.
Not Checkerboard unless Titan's Myth shows up in a location that is already accessible. But nonetheless, the others, yes. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. It just totally hit me at that moment.
Oh, that's fine, that's fine. I was just gonna say Chad is suggesting some things that could very well be possible. The Shovel Spot, the Sick Kid.
Yeah, that's true. Shovel Spot or Sick Kid at this moment are still variables. And we're going to see ACM go to that Shovel Spot very soon after finding a very, very harsh life lesson from the one and only big scammer of the light world.
Yeah, though, unlike sonicam, he will be able to pick up his shovel if he so chooses to, which I assume he will.
Yep. And once again, we discover another harsh life lesson. Boom! Yet another big 20.
That's a terrible pyramid scheme Zora is running there.
Well, terrible for everyone that falls for it, but yeah, I agree. And Shovel has been grabbed. The save and quit means we are likely going to see a Shovel location.
Yep, wouldn't be surprised to see ACM go there straight away, and I also, to be honest, wouldn't be surprised if he manages to dig up a dirty cape.
If he picks up a dirty cape, that is going to mean we are going to see some swag duck in the immediate future.
Oh, but is he going to Swamp first?
Interesting. He does have Mire locations to also check. This could be a multiple area route. And Swamp seems imminent. Swamp it is.
Yep, sure looks like it. Not a bad play.
No, certainly not, especially since it is indeed a crystal. Might as well get that out of the way. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It's one of the 5 and 6 crystals, so even better.
Yep. Ooh, sonicam getting a little bodied by that red Igor.
Yep, he definitely didn't want him to light any more of those torches, but manages to get his entry into the Land Mollusk fight anyways, and with the silver arrows, shouldn't be a big deal at all.
Certainly not. It will be easy mode for sure.
Beautiful.
And we now know that, even though it was highly improbable, that we're not locked out of Swamp Palace by item being there instead of the key.
Alright, Swan, what do you have for us? Hey, another fairy in a bottle.
The second bottle has been found. All these safeties, and half the time I have to struggle for a bottle.
sonicam picking up his Fisher-Price shield. Better than nothing, I guess. At least it blocks those spears that those pig guys throw at you in the Dark World.
Yep, If nothing else, it helps with at least the minor annoyances. In the meantime, we're going to see what ACM finds in the roundabout cave, or roundabout area of the dungeon. Roundabout cave? JoJo's Bizarre Adventure aside, inside the chest we get the big key.
Oh, that's a very nice find here. That means you can immediately check the big chest.
And you don't have to worry about coming back to it after fighting. Oh, and just a false alarm. You got a burrito. Congratulations. Hope you like Chipotle. Oh, we are seeing a magic bat check. This could be huge. Except it's the magic bat, so of course it isn't. Of course it isn't.
Well, it's still a worthwhile check.
Every time I see someone go over immediately and press on that switch, I immediately panic because I'm worried about someone flooding the key. But I still just watched them get the key.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely understand where you're coming from, though. It's just such a weird feeling, because flooding the key, I think, has happened to every runner at least once.
Oh, yeah, and when you've done it, you never forget, because you just sit there and you just can't stand it every time.
Mm-hmm.
sonicam heading over into the Dark World and heading up to Swamp Palace? Or sorry, not Swamp Palace, Skull Woods. Another big 20 chest. I thought we already hit 800 of them by now.
Yeah, there's always more hiding.
Oh, and there is the cape. How interesting.
We have it. So that means ACM is probably gonna finish up his Swamp Palace and then go right and pick up his flute.
Understandable. I'm actually really impressed that the logic thought to itself, you know what these nerds need to do? These nerds need to go over and grab the flippers, then immediately go over to Swamp, and then grab the cape, and then go get the flute. But first, they gotta make sure to go and get all of that from Thieves Town. Okay, logic. You do you.
Yeah, interesting here to imagine how many double dips the logic would actually want you to do. We see sonicam decides to check a couple overload spots before he goes into any dungeons. He is now checking the King's Tomb. Just check the graveyard ledge. Yet another big 20.
Man, this logic is rude.
Oh, and there's a fire shield for ACM, so...
It's always good to see a shield upgrade.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that shield.
Fire shield is very handy. While sure, the Mire shield gives you all the necessary invincibility for Mire Bridge, or sorry, for Laser Bridge, it does also manage to help, or Fire shield does manage to help on pretty much everything else.
Mm-hmm. Alright, going into that Argus fight with the Master Sword, a little annoying because every puff takes 2 slashes, but still not that big of a deal.
Very true. However, fortunately it is nothing in comparison to the fighter or swordless Argus fight, where you just go into Menu Opening Simulator 2017.
Yeah, also lovingly referred to as the menu boss.
Yes, very true. And with four charge slashes, we are getting the Ether Medallion. We are at a 66.infinitely6% chance that we are going to have the medallions required for Turtle Rock.
Yeah, ACM definitely in a good spot for those medallions so far. His chances, as you said, he now has a 2/3 of a chance to get into every dungeon that he ever wants to get into. And as AA is pointing out in chat, ACM might well be in almost go mode here. He still needs that ice rod, but as soon as he grabs that, assuming none of the 2 dungeons that require medallions will need the bombos, he has everything he needs.
Yes and no. We do know where the flute is, but we still haven't picked up the second glove upgrade.
Oh, very true. We still need the Titan's mids.
Because, as we know, Misery Mire is required even though Ice Palace is not. But you're right. Aside from that one nuance, we are essentially in go mode for ACM. Inside the Mirror Cave, we have, the wrong kind of golden item that we are looking for. A bomb upgrade. Sonicam immediately diving into Palace of Darkness is going to be very relieved upon finding various things such as the Hookshot. Whether or not we'll be happy to have Quake. Oh, Shovel turns out to just have a piece of heart. Sometimes when you go around digging your backyard, you don't want to pull out a heart from the ground. Just kind of a... I know it's around October, so Halloween's around the corner, but come on, that's just kind of a... not something you want. Not something you want to experience.
Yeah, especially not a quarter heart. That's just weird.
Oh, that's double weird. Especially if you can't identify it. ACM going for the magic bat check. As we know, not turning out nearly as fruitful as we hoped, but the gamble should be paid off. And Sonicam getting the hookshot.
Yeah, Sonicam also having a little advantage of not having to deal with the dark rooms in here thanks to his lamp.
That is true. Even though ACM does have those down pat, let's be real, visibility is always better than going in blind.
Absolutely. Yeah, looks like ACM will check out what the sick kid will give him today.
Absolutely. And survey says... oh, it's an arrow upgrade. Oh, yeah, you hate to experience that.
What is the kid doing with that?
I mean, maybe the kid's an archer.
Okay, fair enough.
They like to be outdoors. Maybe they do some fun things outdoors besides catch bugs, like shooting arrows at hopefully non-living targets.
And we might be seeing ACM here grabbing his flute.
That would be logical, even though he wouldn't be able to access Misery Mire. That does mean he has quick access to pretty much everywhere else he would need to go. And once again, we are getting the Palace of Darkness bomb yump. And ACM deciding, you know, I'm just going to ignore where the flute is for now and go over to the other spots that I need to check, such as, you know, King's Tomb and the Mirror Cave behind the graveyard.
Yeah, now that I think about it, did ACM ever check the Bumper Cave ledge, or was it only Sonicam? He might not have checked yet.
You know, that's a good question. I can't remember who checked it first. Because if it was only Sonicam and ACM hasn't seen that yet, that could be one heck of a turn of events.
I mean, to be fair, I would be very surprised if someone of the caliber as ACM forgets to check the Bumper Cave ledge. And as Chad is pointing out, he might just want to be going from right to left.
That is also entirely possible.
So we'll find out in a minute here.
Actually, that would also make a lot of sense because there's nothing left over on the immediate right side that he would have to go to in the Dark World. He's already taken care of Palace of Darkness, he's already taken care of Catfish, he's already taken care of Zora if he ever wanted to mirror back over. He's already taken care of the pyramid. Why would he want to go back over to the right?
Yeah, and chat and our wonderful tracker finally on, confirming that I'm just bad at remembering stuff.
Well, it's better to at least remember that you're bad at remembering stuff than to be right and see that ACM was not aware. That would have been bad.
Very true.
Yes, to confirm for chat asking the question, Lamp was indeed Ether Tablet.
Yep, it sure was. And I'm thinking, or at least hoping, that ACM decides to go up there sooner rather than later.
And Doot, we have the flute. It is spooky month. I hope you've all had your calciums.
And get your swag ducks ready here. It looks like ACM is straight on his way to activate it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him flute right up to Death Mountain. I don't think he's been up there at all yet. And now that he has pretty much everything, there's a lot of items up there he can check.
Hope you're all enjoying the Swag Duck Anthem.
Hope you don't mind that the only person who sings is Dr. Boptastic.
Really? I also thought it was in the name of DT.
Yeah, I think there's a couple people who actually sing, but definitely not me.
I think I'm gonna make a remix of it. Anyways, sonicam is going immediately over into to the turtle rooms in Palace of Darkness. I was almost going to say Turtle Rock in Palace of Darkness, but then I realized the fatal flaw in that logic. With the mixtape Rod of Destiny, ACM is going to make sure to take care of Mothula because he is not afraid of some giant bug that looks like one of those face-shaped stone statues that I can't remember the names of. Well, nailed that analogy. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm blanking myself a little bit here, to be honest.
I'll blurt it out when I remember it. Don't you worry. ADHD is a hell of a drug. Fortunately, we have sonicam making super quick work of King Helmasaur, and ACM is making just as quick work of the Gibdo Fire Room.
Yeah, dodging those Gibdos beautifully. He also has a spare key in his pocket. That means he doesn't have to kill the Gibdos here.
Moe! Thank you, chat. Thank you. Just when my brain decides to go on randomizer, chat reminds us.
No, I don't think ACM has checked what the green pendant has yet, and he has also not been to Death Mountain yet, so...
Ooh, that's a good point. This could have an entirely different plot twist where Sarashula is holding on to something. Meanwhile, Mothra goes down, and Survey says it's a burrito. Coming from Skull Woods, I hope you like that earthy burrito.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have an earthy burrito from there than a soggy burrito from Swamp.
Yeah, something tells me Shrek burritos would not be that good. Meanwhile, ACM now taking this moment to go and check Pedestal to make sure that all of his efforts weren't in vain, only to get some low priced bomb storage increasing.
And it looks like sonicam did go to check out what Sahasrahla had, and it was only some love.
Oof. That is a little rough. Meanwhile, ACM finally checking the last chest, and it is the glove upgrade he was looking for to get into Misery Mire.
That is a beautiful find, and we see sonicam is right on his heels. He is also making his way back into Skull Woods.
He is. With the intel and already routed areas ACM has, This literally puts him one item away from go mode, even without the lamp.
Yeah, and lucky for him, he made a great choice by not visiting Death Mountain before, because now he can clear both the light and the Dark World side with those mids.
Absolutely. He might even check Ether Tablet and then go, oh, that's where the lamp was.
Mm-hmm. Gets a little piece of heart from the old man here, bringing him back to safety.
A little bit of appreciation from the old man. Not full on, never mind, I can't remember the meme, but I was going to say something that probably sounded a lot raunchier than I intended. Anyhow, Swagnet sighting for ACM and sonicam going and diving right into Mothula. Having some pretty decent RNG, to say the least, regarding Mothula, and down it went.
Yep, he is also probably going to dive back in for those Titans mids, while ACM finally picking up his lamp.
ACM finally sees the light and immediately goes, well, at least I found it.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, not something you really needed or wanted, but sure, why not?
Exactly. At this point, ACM decides to take the dive into Tower of Hera to make sure there's nothing he was missing. Turns out right there, all he had to find was the compass. And he's going to end up taking the extra 20 seconds to kick back and relax in the basement. Oh, or he says never mind and pieces right on out.
Yeah, I can understand his decision there. It's not the first person that I see doing that. It's a Pendant dungeon and you realize, oh man, I would have to spend extra time down in that tower room. Might not be worth it.
Yep. He decided to take the gamble against it, and as far as we know and have seen, it's not a bad gamble to, miss.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't entirely a lot of anything to be found in Tower of Hera, which did take some time away from sonicam. However, it was a Pendant dungeon, and in version 26, why would you ignore it?
And now we see both of our runners here up on Death Mountain. sonicam clearing out the Dark World stuff that he couldn't do earlier since he was lacking the Titans mids.
A good call for sure. And soon afterwards, we're going to see some Dark World shenanigans. An interesting routing choice by ACM. At this point, going through to the top area, only to return from that area to go and immediately go into the left side of the Dark World area to get to the rest of Death Mountain Dark World. Interesting, and actually really awesome routing. And Ether confirmed for Turtle Rock.
So that is the medallion that sonicam is still missing.
That is not good news for sonicam, because if I remember correctly, that was on Argus.
Mm-hmm.
ACM finally getting his carrot sword.
Yep, gonna be happy to see that, I'm sure. Gonna make his way right back to his Dark World portal and check out what sonicam is currently checking.
In the meantime, it looks like sonicam is actually heading over to take the gamble into Spike Cave. As we have seen previously, Spike Cave, despite not being accounted for in the logic, still ends up with some vital options and vital progression items in V26.
Yeah, I mean, he should be having no problems getting through here. He has a couple of hearts, and he has a fairy in the bottle if everything goes wrong, so he should be having no problems.
And with one heart left, he gets 10 arrows for his troubles. That is rough.
Yeah, not really worth it at all.
Oh, I forgot to mention, both runners now have a B-Torp in a bottle. Praise be to B-Torp.
So that's all 4 bottles for ACM already. Yesterday I was commentating a match where all the runners found their first bottle in Ganon's Tower. Can you imagine that?
Wow, that is rough. That had to be a lot of good runners, because otherwise it was going to be a very long seed.
Oh, and is ACM just opening up Turtle Rock, or is he deciding to take the dive in there? If he finds the ice rod in here...
That could be a massive update. Considering how many places he's also checked, and we know that Tower of Hera doesn't have the ice rod, he may be taking the gamble full on.
I'd be surprised if he does this before he checks Mire, but he's proven me wrong immediately.
Interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, he has everything he needs to get through the whole dungeon, save for Trinex, so we'll see if his gamble pays off.
Because on one hand, I could see the logic. Out of the rest of these dungeons, Mire has, 2? Ice Palace has 2 or 3?
Yeah, Ice Palace has 3 and Mire has 2, so
and
you definitely get
bombs.
You definitely get the most potential items out of this one, but it's also a lengthy double dip if you end up doing everything up to the laser bridge and not finding anything.
Very true. That would give sonicam some decent time to catch up, however, as we might see, it might only be a boss or 2 at most to get some catch up if we have to, if we see ACM go into Double Rock. To Double Rock? To double dip into Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, as my language goes on randomizer,
Shoutouts to Alpha Channel, thank you for the sub.
Absolutely. Just another sign that everyone appreciates these, and everyone in this community is a bunch of excellent people that love to just share their passion for Link to the Past Randomizer. If you haven't by chance checked out the community Discord or even the tournament Discord, we highly recommend that you go and check them out. And because I apparently didn't turn my mixer up all the way, I'm gonna say it again. This community is amazing, and something like that in all of your support is absolutely a testament to how amazing this community is. In the event that you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend you check out the Randomizer Tournament and the Randomizer community for Link to the Past, as well as any other randomizers that you are into as well.
Alright, ACM making his way further into Turtle Rock. So far, he has only picked up the Balmos Medallion, which well, I mean, if it's required for Mire, this was a great play.
Absolutely, and I agree.
Oh man, I'm just sitting here waiting with bated breath for every chest ACM opens. If any of these are the Ice Rod, he is in such a good shape.
Oh, absolutely, and that would also put him into go mode. Ooh, Sword Beam Strife. Oh, was that seriously another big 20?
Yep.
I can't even express into words how many big 20s we have seen, because it really does feel like we've seen way more than we actually should have.
Yeah, it's never ending. Just when you thought you must have finally gotten them all, another one shows up somewhere. ACM putting his sword beams to good use. Coming up on Laser Bridge here for ACM. We're probably gonna see a textbook laser skip with the boots.
That would be fantastic, and despite seeming a lot more complicated than other times, actually not that hard so long as you figure out which pixel you need to be on.
Yeah, I'm absolutely terrible at it, but that doesn't really mean anything.
Oh, same. No, I assure you. However, the few times you get it, you just sit there and you immediately feel awesome. Oh, we didn't get a big 20 this time, we got a mini 5. Oh, there's the big 20, of course.
You jinxed it.
Oh, there's the key.
Oh, is he really leaving that last chest? He must have counted.
Oh.
He must have counted items.
Yep, he must have indeed. Which means it's now time to most likely head into Misery Mire. However, he might take the gamble into Ice Palace. Not going to lie, either way would sound like it makes sense. Misery Mire being a place that you go for progressing on your seed. The other being, well, Ice Rod was an Ice Rod cave. If Ice Rod was an Ice Palace, that would also make sense, even though that'd be ridiculously trollish of the game logic.
Oh, and we also get confirmation that Mire is also Ether, so
good
for ACM, bad for sonicam, unless...
Not necessarily bad for sonicam anymore, fortunately. However, However, by the time we discovered Turtle Rock, that was bad news. And
sadly, no bird toss from ACM since he's coming from above, so no bird flying in here.
ACM is a runner of strictly business right now. Unfortunately, that business did not involve bird tossing. Although, let's face it, everyone wishes that were the case.
Yeah, we'll still get another chance when sonicam gets here, so we'll see, but... Oh man, and if you've ever wondered how to do that first Wizrobe room in Mire quickly, you just
got a master class. Ooh, trying to get off the silver arrow, just managed to shoot it out a little too early. But quickly enough, Quake has arrived, and so has the crystal for that dungeon. This does open up the pyramid with the one and only thickest of fairies.
Mm-hmm. Wait, no, it doesn't. He still needs to finish Turtle Rock for that.
Oh my god, you are right. I am sorry. I'm still thinking of another seed where that was number 6 over in Swamp, and then another, I think it was Palace of Darkness, was 5.
Yeah, I was a little confused earlier myself because I mistook the green pendant and the little asterisk next to it as a crystal and was like, oh, okay.
Meanwhile, we're seeing the hunt for the blue ice rod instead of red October.
Yeah, and the
just
ice
bypassing
rod...
the jelly with that key.
Interesting choice.
Strictly business at this point. My goodness, finding the big key, immediately saying, you know what? I don't even care. Let's find out.
Yeah, he's hoping for the second item in Mire to be on Vitreous, which is a good play, I think.
At this point, it's also entirely possible, and having to double back is, albeit a little bit risky, still could be far riskier than making the wait and then finding out later you pick up yet another big 20 after waiting 20 seconds. Sonicam picking up the flute, getting ready to doot over in Kakariko.
Yep, finally picking up his flute. He's going to be happy about that.
Making good utilization of the magic powder, and into Vitreous we go. Oh, ACM forgoing the silver arrow route and just deciding to take care of a majority of the eyes with several slashes, and then making super clean work of Vitreous. Oh, but only getting the most miserable of burritos.
Oh, that A can't be a very good burrito with all that goo around, and B, that probably means he might want to check back into here.
Yep, that is definitely true. No one likes a slimy burrito made by someone who came into work inebriated and decided on their first day to, you know, try to make the biggest, most complicated burrito.
Mm-hmm.
However, if ACM doesn't find the ice rod in Misery Mire, he's going to have to put Turtle Rock on ice before checking Ice Palace.
Ha, I see what you did there.
I see what I did there. I see what you did there.
Hi-oh. Alright, ACM making his way to the vanilla big key spot here. There's not too many spots left for him to check.
He is surely making his way downtown, walking fast, faces past as he's homebound, but no. Unfortunately, that joke didn't end on the time I thought it would. Anyways. There it is, the ice rod. The last possible chance.
Alright, and that means go mode for ACM at 1 hour, 22 minutes, and 30-ish seconds. Gonna make his way right back up there to Turtle Rock. And as we see Sonicam currently making his way through Misery Mire, he's going to be picking up his ice rod very soon, and that also means go mode for him.
Yep. Fortunately, in ACM's case, Turtle Rock, even in go mode, is essentially the same amount of time that it takes in normal check everything mode. So at that point, not a whole lot of time was lost in the event that you had to double dip into it anyways. However, this does mean that the amount of time from the double dip is the amount of time Sonicam is going to have to catch up from Misery Mire. This does leave ACM and Sonicam still a decent distance apart, but gives enough of a potential advantage if one of the players makes a certain gamble and the other doesn't over in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, we'll have to see how this works out. I mean, ACM has to make the whole track back through Turtle Rock to get to try next, but we can't forget that Sonicam will also probably be checking quite a few chests here to grab the big key and all the small keys necessary to get through the dungeon.
Absolutely. And if they make the exact same gamble that ACM did, chances are we're still going to see a significant time loss between the two.
Yeah, I hate calling it early, but I don't think I'm leaning too far out when I'm saying it's going to be very, very hard for Sonicam to catch up at this point.
While I agree, I'm still not counting anyone out, mainly because we have seen both crazier and more ludicrous situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything can happen. It's not over till it's over, especially in Rando.
All it takes is one bad stroke of luck, and the next thing you know, a race that seems like it was going to be right out of the park ends up having constant changes of pace and leadership.
Mm-hmm. And as chat is currently pointing out, we are most likely not going to get a post-game interview from ACM, but he definitely shows up in chat every time after a race, so you can ask him all the questions that you might have there.
And to be fair, that's a respectable stance. If you'd rather go and hang out with Chad afterwards than answer a couple of questions, I mean, that's fine too.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, with how perfectly ACM played, with the exception of maybe that Turtle Rock gamble, if you want to call that a bad play, quote unquote, I wouldn't even really know what to ask him.
So, let's have an interview with ACM, shall we? ACM, you did everything pretty clean, good job. Okay, moving on.
Yep, thanks for playing, good luck on the rest of the tournament, goodbye.
Right? I mean, at that point, what's he going to do? Sit there and just smugly say, haha, yes, I'm the best? Because, I mean, one, while I was accurate in the last tournament, that is still rude. Two, I mean, let's face it. Unless you're a narcissist like that, I mean, no one wants to do that.
Oh man, look at this Trinix fight, I mean, really.
Yeah, textbook example of how to take care of Trinix with a tempered sword.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and ACM grabs his last crystal and is gonna make his way over to Ganon's Tower now. And I'm already seeing the first number pop up in chat. You know what that means.
It does mean that we are approaching Ganon's Tower, and in the first part of Ganon's Tower, there is a chance our runner is going to be picking up 22 chests before finding the big key. Feel free to guess your number now, or if you are feeling extra sassy, feel free to pick a location. Me, I'm feeling twice as sassy. I'm going to not only guess top left Armos room, I'm going to concede that now that I've said that, it's probably going to be on the right side.
Okay.
That said, you can only have one, and I'm sticking to my original top left Armos chest.
Alright, we'll note that down for your guess. My guess, as always, will be number 8, which is usually, depending on their routing, the Firebar room with a single chest in the middle.
Oh my god! If you guessed one, well, what are you gonna give away? Everyone gives away Herfy Durfy's love, but Herfy Durfy's right here, and I'm not going to offer his love to anyone else.
Well, I think Fiesel's little game here will soon tell us who the actual winner is, and then I might be convinced to give away my own love and affection for a change, instead of other people giving it away.
Now that is truly special. Well, now that we see that it was key number 1, you can already assume that ACM has been much closer to the point of saying that he has won this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously he has no idea where his opponent is, but how well the seed went for him and how perfectly he executed everything, he can't feel behind right now. I think that's impossible.
As much as I'm always rooting for a close race, at this point, even though both of these runners are still, in comparison, very close, it's not as close to be able to say, oh, sure, this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, and we're going to have a close race. It's right now, due to circumstance, going to be very, very interesting to see a development where sonicam could catch up. Oh, actually, we got a recommendation from chat. You are giving away your own love and affection. I will be offering a limited edition, non-existent print of Cross Products' best jokes.
Yeah, I quite like that suggestion. ACM could spontaneously fall asleep. Yes, I suppose he could.
We could discover that ACM is indeed narcoleptic. How likely is that at this point? Technically not likely, but still.
I mean, for all we know, he could be playing this in his sleep right now.
Oh, and according to Fiesel's special little program, the first subber supported to guess the correct answer was Yonaman. Yonaman, congratulations. You have won, well, you definitely won something.
Looks there's still some technical difficulties going on because Yonaman is saying he didn't even guess.
Well, I guess you could say that was the first one that Speed Gaming found. Shoutouts to everyone hating those puns.
In any case, Yonaman, you're a subscriber and you're a good man. You still get my love and affection.
Oh yeah, no, the amount of effort and everything that Fiesel has put through, you can't not respect him for everything that he's done. Especially with the level of automation that's been put through. Wow, just nothing more or nothing less than hats off for that level of commitment.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I've said it before. Oh, wait. Before I say anything else, we've got an eggplant head in the validation chest for ACM.
Ooh, I am very surprised it wasn't another big 20.
Yeah, very true. We might have found all of them finally.
Although, we are still getting trolled, it was at least something red.
The red doesn't stop. Oh, ACM getting trolled a little bit there.
You are certainly correct. Oh, managing to still get a double hit despite the blue spiral.
Yeah, immediately makes up for it. Very nice Anger 2 fight.
Absolutely.
I also have to say I quite enjoy the nice and round 600 rupees in this account right now.
And as Chad is aptly pointing out, yes, that was a pattern of 2-1-2-1.
Meanwhile, sonicam entering the last stretch of Turtle Rock here, while ACM is just waiting for the swag duck to deliver him so he can drop down the Ganon hole.
Is phrasing still a thing? Are we still doing phrasing?
Yes, we are, and I'm well aware of how that sounded.
Alright, there we go.
Alright, and ACM is making short work of this. One cycle phase 1, one cycle phase 2.
That is... oof. That is something that newer players can only dream of pulling off.
Shoutouts to Tracker finally on sub hype. Thank you for the sub.
Absolutely. Always appreciated.
And ACM making it into the last phase of Ganon, getting the early silver arrow in, grabs the torch glitch with the fire rod. Jesus, man, can you be any better at this? And a triple silver to finish it off. Oh my god.
And with that, ACM has finished with an official SRL time of exactly 1 hour and 34 minutes. Make sure to give him a GG, and as we know, he doesn't do voice interviews, but when he bumps into chat, make sure to welcome him on in and give him a GG, because that was a fantastic fight.
Absolutely. I mean, really, anything you've seen in this seed from ACM was absolutely amazing. His routing, his execution, nothing really... I mean, the only thing you could maybe talk about is that gamble into Turtle Rock.
Yeah, but even then, it was essentially a gamble because it could have gone either way.
Yeah, exactly. If he had found the Ice Rod in there, he would have been able to go mode Mire and finish up Turtle Rock right away, and it would have been even faster than it already was.
Needless to say, we have to make sure to recognize one simple thing. No matter how this race came out, you should definitely be following both ACM and sonicam because both of them have busted their butts to make sure to give you one heck of a race, and boy did they. In the meantime,
Absolutely.
I'd also like to mention a major thank you to Fillion for doing our tracking, and of course, Feasel, the awesome programming boss he is, making sure to keep everything going smoothly with this restream.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout outs to Feasel and of course Fillion for tracking everything. Feasel, as I've mentioned a couple of times before, I personally think he's a superhero.
It's definitely steaming that way from what I've been seeing.
All right, now we got sonicam making his way into G Tower. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No, don't worry. I was about to keep saying something, but then I realized I paused too long in between when I started and when I stopped. But also, in the process, speaking of following people, if you are so interested, make sure, if you enjoyed this commentary, to go and follow Herfy Durfy. And if you want to follow Glentai too, I'm pretty sure he'd be okay with that.
Yeah, please do. I mean, Glentai, awesome dude, awesome commentary. Please follow this man.
Likewise to you as well. Meanwhile, sonicam getting very pleased to getting the free seed tier Ganon's key right immediately on the right side.
Yeah, that is really the G Tower every runner dreams of. A small key and the big key in the first two chests on the right side. Can't get any faster than that.
Oh, absolutely. It is ideal, to say the very least. In fact, situations like that are exactly why most people go and check the right side immediately in those first chests to begin with.
Yeah, and considering they already have or had silvers and a tempered sword, they're not missing out on any of the items in Ganon's Tower. Almost said Turtle Rock there.
That would have also been impressive. sonicam making very smooth work out of that cannon hallway, and immediately starts off the gauntlet. Deciding to take no moment of being patient and just fire rods the Skelebros.
Yeah, with half magic and a full magic refill awaiting him in the room before Moldorm 2, might as well make the most use of it.
And the most use of it he is making of it, indeed. Wow, very, very quick work of the possibly most annoying ice room in the game.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And a little interesting detail about Lammo 2 that I also might have mentioned before, but depending on how long you linger in the room before, usually when you try to powder that anti-fairy, if you wait a little bit or powder that anti-fairy, all the Lanmos will jump out at the same time. If you dash right through like sonicam did, they will come out staggered and you'll have a little bit of an easier time timing your silver arrows.
That is true. Also an interesting science fact. Did you know that if you were going to take multiple carts of Link to the Past or even a flash cart with a randomizer on it and stack them all the way up to the moon, flat surface, the widest surface facing down and being stacked upwards, that by the time you did that, since you didn't have anything tying them together, half of them would go into space and about a quarter of the others would probably be crushed by the weight of the remaining cartridges.
That is, I really wish I could sing the More You Know jingle right now. But Since I've already stole Dr. Boptastic's mullet dungeon Nomer for Pod, do you know about the GT conspiracy theory?
Oh, I do. That blew my mind the moment I saw it. However, not to detract from sonicam. Sonicam making, obviously, very smooth work out of this entire section of post-gauntlet shenanigans.
Yeah, he just blasted through this now on his Moldorm 2 fight.
And will Trolldorm 2 troll harder? So far, it doesn't seem it.
Yeah, he's taking it a little bit carefully. I can't blame him. Only needs one more slash, and this looks good. Yep.
Seems like we will not be seeing a troll with a vengeance. And we got the double bonk, triple bonk, quadruple bonk, quintuple, sextuple, septuple, octuple, and whatever the ninth tuple was, and suddenly we have the red mail. And some more bonks.
Now I'm really hoping sonicam kept track of his bonk counter so he can make it a nice round number here, and that's what he's doing.
I'm hoping that's exactly what he did. Non-tuple? Thank you very much. Thank you, chat. It's been a while since I've had to use that terminology.
Oh, and speaking of nice even bonk counts, ACM managing to finish with 20 bonks, exactly.
Very nice.
And look at those rupees collected and spent. Oh man, my OCD is having a good time right now.
Yeah, no, that is very specific. However, not to detract from it, that was 12 saving quits compared to every other even zero number.
Very true, but 2 minutes 35 menu time, absolutely insane.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt. That was fantastic. Everyone's worried about sonicam, but sonicam is still, as far as we know, racing. There has not been any updates in IRC, and realistically, at this point, I would be very, very surprised to see any level of rage quit.
Yeah, if anything, he's probably having internet troubles, which is always a little bit of a bummer, but as I said in chat earlier, even if the internet does cut out on one of our runners, we always have the possibility to retime their local recording to get an exact time should we need it.
Absolutely. This ends up being one of those cases where that may be a thing unless we see something come back. Never mind, we're already in phase 2 again, and hashtag VAC. Just kidding. Don't worry. False alarm. Don't panic.
Yeah, everything's okay. Sonicam right back with us. Just starting phase 3 now. Ooh, needs to be a little bit careful with those fire bats. Though I do believe he also has a couple fairies in a bottle left.
Yeah, no, he should still have at least 2 of those safeties. I have not seen a single death. Or at least if I did, I do not recount one. Ooh, that's smooth. Oh, missing the fire glitch. Fortunately, not too big of a deal when it comes to having silver arrows. Nonetheless, still always mildly stings any runner to miss that, even out of circumstance. Ooh, sonicam almost giving a hug to Ganon at that very moment before he appeared.
Yeah, you don't want to hug Ganon. I mean, he might look a little cuddly to some people, but oof.
Something about a blue pig makes me very worried. You put a cape on him, I'm very, very worried. However, people are asking about the GT, the Ganon's Tower conspiracy theory. I think it's about time that we educate them.
All right, so as you already know, we have 1 to 22 item locations in Ganon's Tower.
You are correct.
The usual location or the usual number for the tile room is 22 because everyone checks that one last.
Yep.
And have you ever counted the tiles in the tile room that fly at you?
I'm going to pretend that I haven't. Why, golly gee willikers, Herfy Turfy, I haven't.
Oh man, well, let me tell you, there are exactly 22 tiles in the tile room of Ganon's Tower. Mind blown. Alright, there you go. I hope everyone's happy now about the conspiracy theory.
Shoutouts to my fellow lizard people, aka never mind, just kidding, we're totally nice and normal humans.
Usually.
Right? Oh! For all of you wondering for an update, we have seen sonicam ping a timeout at 144 seconds on IRC. sonicam may have had some internet issues at this point.
Yeah, sadly, if he wants an exact time on his run, we'll have to retime it. But I don't think it's going to be that important. And the time differences don't really mean anything in the Swiss round, so since we know that he has sadly lost this match, I don't think a retiming will be necessary at all.
It is unfortunate indeed. I'd say we should go for a post-race interview, but at this point, I think I would want to be playing the sound you get from a 56K modem.
Oh yeah, there he is. I can confirm on the Discord, apparently connecting with his phone, sonicam unfortunately said that his internet went out indeed.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Fortunately, though, we do have not only clear communication to confirm that, we also have plenty of races that are going to be going on, not only here on Speed Gaming, but also on Speed Gaming 2, Speed Gaming 3, Speed Gaming 4. Also, for the secondary tournament with with Randomizer Mania 2 through 4. However, I do want to make sure to repeat once again several things. One, if you have not joined the link to the past randomized community on Discord or our tournament Discord, feel free to give either of those a check on over and feel free to hang out with all of us and join this awesome community. Second, speaking of this community, did you know supporting your community is something that you can do to make not only them but yourself feel better? Feel free to go and give not only your racers a follow at their respective names on Twitch, but also make sure to give some love over to our restreamer Feasel, our tracker, Filian. I almost said FY Lion, which then would have made no sense. But also to our commentators Herfy Durfy, and I mean that Glentie guy's okay. If you like puns, I mean it's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I can only really echo what you just said. Thanks to everyone involved. Filion for the wonderful track-in. You for the wonderful co-commentating.
And likewise to you.
Feasel for the great restream and everything he does for us here, making all of this possible. Oh, and we do finally get to see sonicam's finishing screen here, so he has definitely finished. He also gave a belated done on IRC, finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour 48:32. But we can probably subtract a minute or so from that, considering his internet went out. I'm not sure if we're gonna get a post-game interview from sonicam with his current internet issues, but we're definitely gonna ask him.
In fact, I will do so right now in IRC. Also, I'm being corrected. Apparently, it's pronounced Philion, because I can pronounce things. Hooray!
Oh, so I was right in the beginning. Yay, me!
Hey, good job.
And I'm the German guy here. Alright, looks like we're getting sonicam in, so just a matter of time until he shows up. He
as soon
says
as we see him, we'll bring him on in.
Yep, absolutely.
Also, just a heads up, if you're wondering what else you could be watching on Twitch as soon as this interview is done, we assure you there are plenty of races still coming up, especially today. And in fact, in half an hour, we are going to be having the one, the only Fatal 4-Way. Yep, no, that's true. With In the Name of DT, Farime? I'm sorry, I'm bad with names. Feel free to correct me, chat. JSR2 Gamers and Spooty Biscuit coming up on the main Speed Gaming channel. And if you need to wait and still can't get enough randomizer action in the meantime, over on Speed Gaming 3, Monosai 85, as well as and 4H and A. Wow, I am so bad at pronouncing these. I will just flat out admit it, so feel free to correct me, everybody. Are currently going to be racing over on Speed Gaming 3.
Alright, and it looks like sonicam is in the waiting room, so let me get him in here real quick so we can get his post-game interview underway. Hello, sonicam. GG.
Hey, thanks, guys. So sorry about all that. I could not believe my internet went out right at the end. Unbelievable.
Yeah, we're very sorry about that, and don't apologize. You have obviously no control over your internet. I'm sure everyone understands.
Yeah.
After all, how dare you not be able to predict the future?
Yeah, all the seeds that I've been playing, I almost feel like I'm inheriting that ability, but maybe not. Yeah, but that was a pretty fun seed. Really wanted you to just do dungeons pretty much, which was typically going to be my plan. Then I got sniped by that fireball, and I guess that was all downhill from there.
Yeah, that fireball snipe definitely got that speed running frustration rerouting going on, and that's to be honest, it wasn't that bad of a delay at first, or distance between you two, and both of you were actually decently close for the longest of times. I actually can't recall when the divergence happened, but I think, from my understanding, ACM just made a couple of other gambles that you didn't. He saw that the first key was the basement key, or sorry, the basement key was where the master key was in Tower of Hera, and said, you know what, never mind.
I wish I did that.
I'm pretty sure there's many people that would have been saying the exact same thing right now. Or at least in their shoes.
But I mean, I felt pretty decent about everything, but I just felt I had so many execution errors, and then that fireball snipe really like messed with my head a little bit. I tried to like shake it off, but I'm like, I'm facing ACM. There, you cannot make any mistakes. If you make a mistake, especially if I'm not an elite player like he is, forget it. So I kind of like had that in my head a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely is nothing you can easily shake out of your head. That is something that's going to be weighing on you when you're in this tournament against someone like that. Understandable for sure. That said, even with the internet outage and all the shenanigans that happened and some of the mistakes that you made, you still have a very respectable run.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of true. I appreciate that, though. Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can just echo what Glent I just said. It was a pleasure to watch, and yeah, there were a few mishaps here and there, but absolutely nothing that would put you at a super disadvantage. I think, considering who your opponent was and how much pressure that must have put upon you, you did absolutely great.
Yeah, thanks.
I
really appreciate that.
You had your work cut out for you. You already knew that.
Oh, yeah.
So it wouldn't necessarily cut yourself short.
Yeah. I'm going to make sure my next match is a little bit better, and I'm going to call my ISP and find out what the hell is going on.
That's definitely a good call.
Yeah,
I'm sitting here tentatively wondering if I should call mine just in case.
But yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate the encouraging words. I kind of needed that a little bit.
Hey, no problem. And like I said, by all means, it's not like you had an easy race to hand to you. It's not like you just had a silver platter that said, enjoy. It said, oh, by the way, there's bomb on here.
Yeah, it was fun stuff, though.
Absolutely. And as we said, it was a great pleasure to watch, and you did very well. So I wish you all the best in the rest of the tournament. You only need to edge out one more win to guarantee getting into the next round.
And fingers crossed.
From what I've seen today, I think you have a pretty good chance of that.
I hope so. And I want to give the viewers in chat a decent viewing experience as much as possible.
And by all means, you did that and then some. Which makes me only want to repeat my previous statement. If you haven't been following these runners on Twitch yet, I highly recommend you do so. Especially if you're new, you're probably going to learn something. And if you ever want to do this yourself, you're going to go from casual spaghetti monster to, hey, I actually know how to do a thing now.
I can definitely concur, because I was really, really bad. I mean, I'm still not good or great by any means, but I was really bad when I first started. Like, I didn't have a clue what was going on, but, you know, there's a great community, too, and you learn a lot from people. So that's also a plus, too.
Absolutely. This community has been fantastic, even from my short stance of 2 months of being here.
Yeah, really, really good people we have around here.
That said, do you have any final thoughts?
Just hope my next race, everyone will be able to see the full thing. I think that's really all I can hope for. But GG to ACM, and thank you guys for commentating as always. And hopefully we have a better race.
By all means, thank you. And hey, Murphy's Law, you said in IRC that you weren't recording, and then of course your internet went out. Maybe if you record, it won't happen.
Yeah, you're right. You know, I think that's a good idea. Let me go ahead and try it next time.
That's usually my luck too, so I speak from straight up experience.
All right, guys. Have a great one.
Hey, thanks. You too.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
And what an awesome race that was. Wouldn't you say, Herfy Durfy?
Oh, yeah, absolutely amazing. I mean, sonicam kept it close the whole way through. It was a little unfortunate, some of the things that happened to him, but still a very good race from him. And I think we've swooned over ACM enough, but a little more can never hurt.
I mean, what can really be said? Sonicam is no joke in this community already, and he had his work cut out for him, and he still, for the most part, held his own. That enough should be testament.
Absolutely. So, I believe that's gonna be it from us for now.
Yep.
Cyclone and Chat just gave you guys a program update. I'm just gonna repeat it in case you're currently just listening to us and not actually reading chat. We have currently other races going on Speed Gaming 2 and 3 right now. And if you want to stick around, there's another race right on this channel in just about 20 minutes. So you're not getting rid of Rando yet.
Of course you aren't. And by all means, do we not want to get rid of you. So feel free to stick around and we will see you soon. Until then, hi, I'm Glentai.
And I'm Herfy Durfy. Have a great night, guys.
And thank you very much once again.
Bye-bye.